Today we're going to do an instructional video on checking the oil and fluids under the hood of your car. First, let's start with the most important fluid, your engine oil. The oil fill cap is right here, and unless you're putting oil in, there's no need to take that off. How we check the engine oil is we take the yellow dipstick, located right here, and it says engine oil. It's almost always yellow, and it's very easily accessible. So we pull the engine oil dipstick all the way out, and we first clean it off to get all the old oil off. Secondly, you put it back in and slide it all the way to the bottom. Bottom out the handle on the dipstick tube and pull it back out again. Now we can check our oil. As you can see in this vehicle, it's a little bit low. The low and fill mark is located right here by the F and the L. On this car you can see it's actually low and it's a bit dirty. So what I would do here is add oil until it's just below the fill mark, which I will not do right now. Secondly, the second most important fluid under the hood of your car is your brake fluid. The brake fluid is almost always located in the top right corner of the engine bay. It'll have a brake symbol on the top of the cap, and it almost always says .3. Every vehicle is a little bit different, but that's the general basics of it. You never need to add or remove fluid from your brake system. If the fluid level is low, there's a reason for it. If your level's low, your brakes are low. So you look on the side, and there'll be a full low mark just like the old dipstick. You look and you see where it's located. Right here, there's the fill mark up here. The level's right there, so there's no problems with that whatsoever. Coming back over here, the next fluid we want to check is our power steering fluid. On this vehicle, it's located down here on the side, and it's always kind of a grimy, dirty area to get at. The cap for this vehicle says power steering right on it, and it's labeled in orange. So how we check this is, first thing we do is we make sure it's not hot. So we can feel it's nice and cold, so I'm not going to get burned when I take it off. Turn the cap, pull it out. This particular cap has a dipstick underneath. We look at the fluid lines, high or hot and cold level. We can see the fluid is actually down here, so we know we have to add some. So I'm going to do that right now with my GM power steering fluid. And we're going to carefully top it up, trying not to spill anything. You can use a funnel to help guide the fluid in. I've been doing this for a while, so I can just eyeball it. But if you're a beginner to this, I recommend using a funnel. Checking again, we can see here it's at full cold. That's exactly where it needs to be. So the next most important fluid we have under this hood is engine coolant. Now we have to be careful with engine coolant because engine coolant is almost always hot once the engine is running. If we take this cap off when the vehicle's hot, we're going to be seriously burned. So the reservoir over here has a full mark on it, and that's the only way we're going to check the coolant. Down here, it'll say full cold, full hot. Right now it says it's right at the full cold mark, so we're going to leave that be as it is. Another fluid under the hood that's very, very important is washer fluid. If you run out of washer fluid, you're not going to see where you're going in bad weather. So checking this is pretty much as simple as opening it up and looking inside the hole. If you don't see it, fill it until it's right at the very top. The last and most important fluid to check under this hood is transmission fluid. Without transmission fluid, your car doesn't go anywhere. So I'm going to show you how to check that right now. On this truck, you have to check the fluid with the engine running and in park. So let's do that. Let's start the car. Okay, now the engine's running. We're going to take our dipstick here. We're going to pull it out. Same as the engine oil, we're going to clean it off and then place it back in, making sure it goes all the way into the bottom. Pull it back out. Now we're going to check. Let's see. Might be hard to see, but down here is our fill hatch, our cross hatches. The fluid level should be somewhere in between there. On this truck, you can see it's really, really overfull, and the fluid is a nice bright red color. So at least the fluid's in good condition. Red means good. Dipstick back in. Kind of weird. That's how you check the fluids underneath the hood of your vehicle.